Anybody know who Diane is? Dirty Diana. Dirty Diana. Dirty Diana. Anybody familiar with that Michael Jackson song? Nobody's familiar with the Michael Jackson song, Dirty Diana? Dirty Diana. Now, I'm not saying Diana is dirty. I'm just singing to you what the song was saying. I'm going to be reading that super chat. Shout out to RJ Coleman. I appreciate you. I'm just singing to you what the song said so that you don't get confused as to what song that we talking about. Shout out to Michael Jackson. Shout out to Michael Jackson in the building now. Diana Feinstein. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name, but let me first say before I go into this part of the story, rest in peace. She died at 90 years old. That's the soft life right there. The California senator, absolutely Afro Pop Fitness. The 90-year-old senator passed away while in office. Remember when y'all used to keep saying, man, I want to work and I want to get this bag so I can retire. Don't y'all know that these people stay in office and they stay allegedly working until they die? These people that are in these public servant roles, they stay there until they die. Now, let me start off this show by giving a little bit of credit, right? I want to give a shout out to my dog, All Things Real. Let me give a shout out. Let me highlight his YouTube channel. All Things Real with a Z. All Things with a Z. This is where I heard the story from. I opened up my YouTube today and I'm subscribed to certain people. All Things Real, as you can see, I am subscribed to his channel. He dropped some incredible games, some incredible views. He's into real estate. I think he is one of the best up-and-coming YouTubers in the sphere. I am personally subscribed, as you can see right here in the upper right-hand corner. All Things Real is in the building. He does not even know that I'm talking about him right now. So if y'all see him, if y'all go over to his channel, if y'all see any of his most recent videos, he dropped a video about this. Let me see if I can find it. And it's right here. It says worth over 100 million. So when I seen that, he dropped it 22 hours ago, right? When I seen that, I said, wait a minute. I knew that a 90-year-old senator had died, and I know that they all rich, but I didn't know that she was worth that type of money. And so I had to start doing a little bit of deep diving to better understand what's going on. You know, I had to get my journalism on. So let me give a little bit of credit because I never want to not cite my sources. Make sure y'all go over to All Things Real. Do two things. Tell them that I sent you. And then number two, subscribe to his channel. Check out his content because he is a really good content creator. So let me start off by doing that, right? I want to make sure that I acknowledge all of the content creators that's doing great things. And I want to give credit where credit is due. He is the person that I seen this from. And then I had to do a little bit of deep diving in order to understand what's going on out in these streets. All right. Now, Diana, rest in peace to Diana, was allegedly worth close to or over $100 million upon her passing at 90 years old. Let me say that one more time. $100 million, somewhere around there. They can't even put a number on it. They know that she owned a private jet that was worth over $65 million alone. A private jet that was worth over $65 million alone. Now, I have a reason that I want to communicate this to you, and it's not necessarily to hold her accountable because you can't hold anybody accountable that's not even here, and I don't even know enough about her to really be able to deep dive into it, but I seen this roughly a few minutes before I was to go live when I opened up my YouTube algorithm, and I said, I got to explore this. So it's a couple different things that I want y'all to take away from this, right? Us as a culture, and when I say a culture, I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about everybody that's trying to level up and understanding exactly what it is that we're dealing with here in our society, in the United States of America, and what is Anton on the Millionaire Morning Show trying to communicate to you guys. I'm going to highlight this even more, and I'm going to deep dive into it on the Wednesday night show, so make sure you subscribe to both channels. If you have not already, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. But let's deep dive into her to get a general understanding, according to the New York Post, of who this woman was and what it is that she left behind.
So the story I did last week for the New York Post was about Dianne Feinstein, who unfortunately had recently passed away. She was a seriously liberal person in the Senate. She stood up for a lot of big liberal causes. San Francisco loved her. What maybe was less known, particularly in light of her political leanings, is that she was also extremely wealthy. She was already wealthy in her own right due to money she'd inherited from her family. She also married a gentleman by the name of Richard Blum, who made a ton of money, on Wall Street and in investing. She had a great moneyed life.
Now, let's stop there for a second, y'all. I want to extract two things from what he communicated so far. The first thing that I want to communicate is that her husband made a ton of money as a Wall Street guy and as a money guy. The husband could have possibly leveraged the wife, who just so happened to be one of the biggest champions of liberal causes over in California, in order to make a lot of money. When you see these people making power plays, right? They're not marrying based off of whether or not she a young girl or she a passport chick or they got her or she beautiful or is she submissive. Man, listen, they marrying based off of power. They're marrying based off of power. They're not concerned about box. Box come with it. They can get an unlimited amount of box from whoever it is that they want to get box from, whenever it is that they want to get it. This is a power play. Y'all keep getting y'all spouses and y'all relationships based off of whether or not they make your cock hard. I'm telling you that people are marrying and they're moving accordingly based off of what makes the most sense from a business perspective. And if we don't start looking at how it is that we're supposed to be moving a little bit more strategically, you're going to continue to fall behind enemy lines, dawg. A businessman and a legislator. There is no more of a powerful couple in the world than a politician in the United States of America and a business person. Let's continue.
Around on a private Gulf Stream. She had a giant, beautiful home in Washington, D.C. They had this beautiful vacation house in Hawaii. They had a vacation house in Northern California.
Wait, vacation house in Hawaii? But y'all want to sit here and have a conversation about Oprah? Meanwhile, a lot of these people are just flying right under the radar. They legislating, they saying, tax the rich, eat the rich, eat it, eat them up, eat rich people, slop them up, taste them up, throw some hot sauce on them, and eat the rich. Eat the rich. Eat them. Eat the rich. Vacation homes in Hawaii, Carolinas, main home in D.C., another home in California. Eat the rich. Eat the rich. I keep telling y'all that these people work together. They're not going to be the ones that suffer as a result of the laws and the rules that they give to you. Don't worry about it. We'll get there.
There were some issues, though, while she was living her life. After her husband passed away, her health began to fail. And she had one biological daughter and 3 daughters through her husband, Richard Blum. And the biological daughter was in litigation for her to be able to sell some of the possessions she had, but those are being held by a trust, and the trust lawyer wouldn't let her sell them. And the daughter was saying,
so she need a trust lawyer and she need assistance, but she was able to serve all the way through her death into being 90 years old. Got it. Let's continue.
She wanted to sell this house in Northern California while the market was at its peak, and she could have really benefited from that. But alas, she did not sell it, and she unfortunately passed away, but she left behind, quite a large estate in her own right. It was estimated to be around $60 million. Everybody, of course, is sad to see her.
Which nobody actually knows what the estate is worth. Listen, the homes themselves are worth millions. The jet is allegedly worth over $50 or $60 million alone. Estimates, wildly probably inaccurate. But let's continue.
Go, but her stepchildren and her daughter, they will all certainly benefit. So cheers to them. The question, of course, though, that lingers is who wound up with the Gulfstream? Where did that go? Because that in its own right was worth $65 million in.
So if the Gulfstream jet that they own, which is listen, it costs millions of dollars a year in order to own, maintain, and you still have to get in the air enough for you to actually be able to justify the cost. Millions of dollars every single year. See, somebody in the chat, I seen them. They said, well, they already had money. They family had money or whatever, so on and so forth, right? Listen, in order to be able to maintain a certain type of lifestyle, do you know the amount of money that you have to generate on a regular basis in order to be able to own a jet? You know the type of money that you have to generate and your net worth and the type of businesses that you have to be in order to own multiple different properties in a jet? Do you know what the property taxes on a loan on a $5 million house in your state is? You have no clue. Man, they pay more in property taxes on one property than you make in the entire year. And you want to sit here and talk about already having money? Already having money? But here's the interesting part about it, right? Don't worry, we're going to be deep diving all throughout the year. This is just surface level content that we're having a conversation about, but we're going to get there. It's one thing that I really want to share with you. Her replacement was recently sworn in, as recently as less than 24 hours ago. And sworn in by who? Vice President Kamala Harris, the person that is in charge of the borders themselves. Cam, I like to call her. Cam. Shout out to Cam. Cam is everywhere. Borders is out of control. Government shutting down. You got all of these puppets and these props everywhere. Allegedly, earlier in the year, they were complaining about the fact that the staffers didn't even like her inside of the White House. But Cam was swearing in Diana's replacement. Y'all gonna love this one.
So help you God.
I will.
Congratulations, Thomas. Congratulations.
LaFonza Butler is California's newest U.S. Senator, taking the oath Tuesday afternoon to fill the seat left vacant by the death of Dianne Feinstein. Majority Leader Chuck Schumer met Butler and her family before welcoming her on the Senate floor.
I can't help but think how proud Senator Feinstein would be, seeing someone as brilliant, as accomplished, as history-making as LaFonza Butler take her place.
She's only the third black female senator in history. And
now you know they gonna champion and highlight the fact that she's a black woman and she's only the third black woman senator in female history. But that's not the caveat. That is not the thing that you guys should really be paying attention to. You're missing it. They're going to throw you all of the stats. They're going to throw you all of the highlights. They're going to say that, breaking barriers. And Cam is the first woman vice president and black woman that not really black, don't profess to be black, whatever, so on and so forth. And LaFonza Butler was recently sworn in, handpicked to be sworn in. Didn't even have to win. Didn't have to run. Didn't have to be able to get nominated. None of that. Handpicked. Let's continue, y'all.
The first LGBTQ senator from California. Butler's wife, Neneki Lee, held the book during the swearing-in ceremony.
And the first alphabet community senator sworn in. And the young lady in the burgundy dress right there just so happened to be her wife that was holding what I believe to be the Bible and swearing her in. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this stuff up. I'm not here to judge. I'm just giving you the information so that you can then make your own informed decisions. I am telling you guys that you need to be very, very, very careful. Very careful with what it is that you embrace, your cultural norms, and what it is that you think is good and bad because it's now normal. Let me be quiet. Let me just let it play. According to ABC 7.
And Butler's mother, Sarah, was there as a witness.
She does become, I believe, the 60th woman to serve in the U.S. Senate, which on its own is significant.
Jessica Weiss, a history professor at Cal State East Bay, says her appointment is reflective of the state's diversity and the equality efforts made by women and people of color throughout the nation's history.
A diversity, equity, and inclusion pick. Huh? Her nomination and then ultimately her swearing in is as a result of years of work of you guys advocating on the behalf of and making sure that we get this diversity, equity, and inclusion pick in there. I'm just restating what it is that they said, but I want to make sure that I emphasize it from a C student's perspective.
We've made tremendous progress, but this progress has been the result of protests. It has been come at sometimes a very high price. And it's not anything to be taken lightly, and we need to continue to move forward.
Butler served as a senior advisor to Kamala Harris during the 2020 presidential campaign.
What? Butler served as a senior advisor to Cam's presidential campaign. Wow, impressive. Wow. So you served as a senior advisor, and now you have the opportunity to be able to level up and become a replacement for what could possibly be a lifetime position as a senator. Impressive. So it wasn't based off of qualifications. It wasn't based off of the background. It wasn't based off of what your constituents will need from you. It's not based off of your position as far as migrant crisis is or what California needs in order to make sure that they have the right representation so that they're working on behalf of the people. This is all based off of friendship. And y'all think that this makes sense? No. I'm just asking a question. I'm not judging. I don't have a conclusion. I have to do a little bit more legwork to better understand these people's background. So I have a lot of work ahead of me that we're going to be mining through here on the Millionaire Morning Show. So if you guys are not tuned in, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you have not hit a like for the algorithm, if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, then I'm sure that you have something much, much better to do to distract you from the things that's really meaningful in your life, because we have to figure out how this comes back to the money. That's why it's called the Millionaire Morning Show. Let's continue.
Campaign, and most recently as the president of Emily's List, a nationwide organization that raises money for women candidates who support abortion rights. Senator Butler released a statement.
Let me replay that for you one more time so you can know who's governing you.
Who support abortion rights. Senator Butler released a statement saying, "This has been a day I did not expect and will never forget.
You sure you didn't expect
to have
it?
The privilege and responsibility of serving the people of California as their senator. It's unclear if Butler will run to hold the seat when the term ends next year."
Now, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think? Wait a minute. It's unclear if she's going to run to hold the seat as the incumbent, but she never expected to be able to get this position in the first place.
Three prominent House Democrats already are in a heated race for the Senate seat: Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, and Barbara Lee.
Whether the victor in a Democratic in the Senate race in 2024 from California is going to be, Schiff or Lee or Porter or now Butler.
In her first week, she for now hopes to honor the work of late Senator Feinstein. Ryan Curry, ABC 7 News.
Now that you guys are familiar with what's going on in your legislative branches, and you know a few of the details, not all of them, a few of the details, how are you going to move going forward? What is your mindset, and how are you going to make the adjustments in order to do the thing that, what do I say? That's in your own best interest. That's conducive for your lifestyle.